Excellent. So we'll now begin our evaluation contest. So I would like to invite up contestant 1, Ivan Pavlov, contestant number 1.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters, contest chair, distinguished guests, and esteemed judges. It was a pleasure to listen to Dayal today talk about his journey from childhood all the way through high school into parenthood and as to where we are today. I thought Dayal's speech started off very, very strongly with his Eureka and strong opening, and he launched straight into it with a story of how he was exactly as a kid talking to his dad, and that set the scene for us to then go through and listen to the rest. Dayal spoke very well, I thought, without notes. So he had a lot prepared, and he had it over here, and he took time to set up the room and to set up the podium and to compose himself before starting to speak, which I very much liked. He glanced at the notes when necessary, but spoke to us, the audience, not to his notes like this, which I liked. Dayal had very good vocal variety, I thought, so he kept us engaged. He threw pauses in, sometimes at the right times, and expressed himself vocally quite well. Dayal moved around a lot, so he used the room to his advantage. He paced around a little bit. He had good body language in general. A recommendation for Dayal was he would pace quite a bit as well, sometimes not to a positive effect, so it would distract us a little bit from it. So a recommendation to Dayal would be, if you are moving, to move to a new position, deliver whatever you're saying, and then maybe to move again. Another use of gestures that I really liked that Dayal did was he didn't keep his hands still, or he didn't keep them down at his sides all the time. He kept us engaged with what he was saying throughout his speech. And he, I think, used this gesture quite a bit. So his range of motion kind of stayed limited to about this. So a recommendation would be maybe to mix it up a bit with some other gestures somehow. I liked Dayal's ending very, very well. So it was very punchy, very short. It was a call to action. So he said, my journey, my life has been amazing. I got a lot out of it from my parents. And he called us to action to take a moment and to kind of appreciate our own parents and to remember everything we've gone through. His ending was very strong. However, without this being an objective speech or a speech where we're given the objectives prior to it, it was hard to know what to expect from Dayal's speech. And I would have liked to see Dayal's opening be as punchy as his ending, by maybe just taking a sentence or two to say, hi, I'm Dayal, and I'll speak to you about this, and then launch into it in some way. Overall, I liked how Dayal painted a story for us, and I enjoyed his speech very much. Contest chair, thank you.
Thank you, Ivan. Could we please have 1 minute of silence for the judges to fill out their ballots? would now like to invite up contestant number 2, Sandy Hu. Sandy Hu, contestant number 2.
Fellow Toastmasters and guests, most importantly, Dayal, what a wonderful, warm-hearted speech. Contest Chair, I'd like to give my evaluation for this wonderful speech by Dayal, A Parent's Lesson. I believe the objectives of this speech was to entertain us, and I believe these objectives were completely fulfilled. I have a couple of observations of what I liked and what I thought this speech could be with a few tweaks. I like how Dayal actually cherry-picked some stories from his life. Rather than tell us everything that happened from age 7 on to now, he cherry-picked moments in his life that was important and shared those special moments with us and brought us in with that journey. And it was a little bit humorous, and also there was a good use of word pictures as well. We could really feel that we were in the room with him when his policeman father was dictating his rules to the household and things like that. I thought he had fantastic audience interaction, asking us, who's got cool mums? And most of us responded, not myself. And I thought that was really good engagement with the audience. In terms of a couple of observations for tweaks, one is in regards to structure and the next is in regards to the use of body. My first recommendation would be perhaps, since the topic or the title is A Parent's Lesson, is there possibly a summary that Dayal could have given us just close to the end to say, so my top 3 lessons from my mum and dad were be a good boy, listen to the parents and things like that, or work hard or whatever it was, so that we can close the loop from the beginning and to the end so that we understand what he feels his lessons learned were. The second one is in relation to the body. There was a little bit of pacing back and forth that may have been a sign of nervousness. To control that, perhaps we could try a technique of moving with purpose. Maybe consciously start one end from when you were 7 and then moving on as we got a little bit older, or stay a little bit more planted and move only when there was dialogue. Could be a useful way of trying to prevent oneself from just doing a pace or boxing step. So I really particularly like the dialogue between mum and young boy. So perhaps the dialogue could be, Mum, you have done everything wrong for the last 5 years. None of your teachers have said anything nice about you. I'm sorry, Mum. I will be a good boy. And so these are my 2 recommendations. In summary, I really enjoy how he just cherry-picked the most vivid memories to him to share with us. It was a warm story, and he had audience interaction. I would have perhaps liked to see his summary of what his lessons were that he learnt, and to move with a bit more purpose. Contest Chair.
Thank you, Sandy. Could we please have 1 minute of silence for the judges to fill out their ballots? you. I'd now like to invite up contestant 3, Dennis Rai. Contestant number 3, Dennis Rai.
Good morning, Panel Toastmasters, fellow members, and guests. I really enjoyed Dayal's speech because it was quite energetic, it was quite engaging, and quite entertaining. I would start Dayal's feedback with my own story. As soon as Dayal came over here, he took his time adjusting the podium, arranged the papers, which was really good, and as soon as he started talking about his grandfather's story, it actually straight away took back to me, to my own grandfather. My mom, so I was born in a very small village where my mom came from. And it was really, at that time, like, so that was 36 years ago, and I was very small, maybe 3 or 4 years ago. I always used to go to my grandfather during the summer holidays, because in India, there is a long holidays during summer, it's so hot. So, and he used to tell stories, and we used to all listen, and such an amazing storytelling techniques he had, and straight away that connected when Dayal started talking about his own grandfather. It was just amazing, actually. So my feedback is going to be in CRC method: commendation, recommendation, and commendation. Good pauses. So I really like that how Dayal made good pauses while he was giving the speech. Good hand gesture. Good explanation and description about the place. I really like the way Dayal actually described the house, the lake, the bus. It was just like very animated. It was lovely. Good use of the phrases as well. Like if anyone knows any other mom is amazing, his own mom will be frozen. I really like that, actually. That was really good. I got a couple of recommendations. What I would like to see from Dayal was a little bit of more kind of variations in the voice. Dayal started a really good variation in the beginning, but it kind of dropped, and I could see that it got a little bit disconnected with the audience. I was trying to see everyone, and everyone was engrossed when he started, and in between, the interest, I think, so it dropped a little bit. But then again, Dayal connected with telling some more stories and connected his audience. That was really good. Overall, lovely story. I really loved it. Good beginning and end. Storytelling is like a medal. It's like a big shield you're holding. Like, the cup, that's a story. Both the hands, beginning and end. Dayal really hold that particular shield throughout, and it did really good. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis. Could we please have 1 minute of silence while the judges fill out their ballots? I'd now like to invite up contestant 4, Paul Green, contestant 4.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and guests. So it's been my privilege today to do an evaluation on Dayal. So thank you very much. What a great topic. Mum's lesson. I've had so many lessons in my life too. I won't get into too many of them, but the worst one was not being cheeky to Mum, especially when the wooden spoon broke on my backside. And then when we laughed, when my brother and I laughed at her, she chased us with a meat cleaver, so that's another story. Dayal, introduction I thought was absolutely fantastic. How you raised your tone straight away into it. Wicked, really enjoyed how you began. Excellent. Introduction, very good loud beginning. You immediately got the attention of the audience, which I thought was really great. We were intrigued, we were ready, we were listening. And also, because it's such a similar topic that we're all used to, I thought it was really good that we all just loved it and got straight into it. Recommendations for you would be potentially where the stand should be. So I know, well, I've got it here too, but maybe it could have been central or lower for you in the middle. A further recommendation would be your standing position tended to be at this side of the room. So if the stand was in a better position for you potentially, I think you could have addressed the audience more in the centre here and do that. Thirdly, eye contact. Due to your standing position being here, I thought you tended to view the audience on like this sort of side like this. So just standing in the middle just means you can approach everyone, just have a better vision of the audience. Moving into the body of your speech, I thought you kept engaging the audience very well. I especially liked your use of humour, how you asked everyone, have you done this, has it happened? And you got everyone laughing and smiling. I thought that was really, really good and well done. Also, finally, I think your speed of speech was extremely good too. You did good pauses and you kept us all really engaged again. Finally, I just think it was really great how you finished with options and lessons to all of us, and you got us all thinking about our own moments and things like that. So I thought it was really fantastic. I think it was really knowledgeable and great for all of us, so well done. Thank you very much, everyone.